Gamicon goes way back. So before Gamicon, there was this Gamification World Conference was in Spain, and before that it was G Summit here in the United States. And then all of a sudden the folks in Spain just didn't have it one year. And so we were like, darn it, we got the budget, we were setting aside the time, and we got nowhere to go talk about gamification. So our company, Sententia, and our founder, Monica Cornetti, she went to Training Magazine because we had a good relationship. They still have a good relationship with Training Magazine. And she said, hey, there's this opportunity for to have a gamification conference, gamification of learning. So 2018, we co-located with them with their Tech Learn conference. It's 2018, 2019 comes, and then good old 2020. And so our founder, Monica Cornetti, asked the team, you know, what's the advantage of a virtual conference? And the advantage is we don't all have to be in Orlando, Florida at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. We can be like we are here. And so it's 5 a.m. my time, and it's different times. It's afternoon in Europe, and all our Asian folks probably asleep by now. But we can continue that conversation. So that's when she came up with the idea of doing a massive conversation. So the reason I'm sharing all this with you is Arek and his team were at the virtual last year, like you are, and they took it upon themselves to come to the live in New Orleans, Louisiana, here in the States. And so it's fun to actually meet folks in person. And it is a very different experience because it's more workshop-y based, because we are all live and in person than what you're having here. But certainly glad that he's come back to work with us again in this format. So how are we doing, Arek?
I'm doing all right. Hello, and it's great to see you online. Yeah. It was even better to see you in New Orleans.
Yeah. It's a great city to be in.
Amazing city. I mean, guys, you gotta go there, but probably anywhere Jonathan and Monica are going is worth visiting, because the fun stays with you.
Right,
and yeah, so happy to be here again. Okay, so I have let's say two faces. That's not the right thing to say, but I'm a game enthusiast and a little bit of a nerd, and I'm a golden retriever owner, and I'm a nice chap. But then my day-to-day work is in a corporate environment, and I'm just trying to save those folks. I'm on a mission to save those people working in those huge organizations, which is majority of us, from the death by e-learning. Yes, I will be slightly controversial today. Please give me that. It all comes from the heart, from the love, and from experience, and from the feedback of people that were giving me this experience. So and that feedback. So yes, I will be a little bit tiny bit controversial. If you don't mind me. My company name is Gamehill, and we are a small dedicated team that have been doing big things for 10 years now in the area of gamified corporate learning. And we've won some awards, we've traveled the world showcasing our software and our platform, but most of all, we've done the real work. So we had a number, probably more than 50 corporate projects over the years. And for the brands that you probably recognize and know, so it would be a Skanska, it would be Deloitte, it would be banks, it would be all different companies that we work for. And we always cooperate together with our clients. So there's plenty of feedback and input from people that know their organization, and that's important. So today I'll be showing you what works and giving you some do's and don'ts, and maybe some tips and tricks. And also I'm torn. I love presenting my child, which is the Gamehill platform. I will focus on talking to you as gamification enthusiasts or professionals and showing that experience, not focusing on my product, but the platform I'll be using for exemplifying and showing you and the samples of what I'm talking about will be from my platform. So pardon that. Hopefully you will like it. Okay, so just the basics. What is an LXP? We are a learning experience platform. So it's the most important thing is that user-centered, not admin-centered. But admins are important, but it's user-centered. And it's a very thoughtful design rather than dumping things on people, which I will explain soon. And it actually combines 4 major elements. It's micro-learning, mobile learning, so you can use it on your phone. It's adaptive. There are some AI algorithms. No one said AI for a while, so I'll be the one. It's the year of AI. So yeah, it's there, but it's not the main component, and I won't be talking much about that. I want to stay on a ground where everyone can adopt. Not everyone can have AI algorithms. Oh, that's no longer true. You can have nowadays almost everything. And the gamification, that's why we are here. I will be talking about the game mechanics that work or don't. And so basically, the most important message I have is in corporate learning, you need to answer the question, who do you design for? Because, well, we are not designing for ourselves. We are a wonderful bunch of people dedicated to gamification, enthusiasts, and some outside observers, external observers, could possibly rudely call us nerds or geeks or whatever it is that the names they would use. We are the innovators, the people that are very much focused on how can we make something very unique even better and even more unique. So we need to focus on who do we design for, and we, in terms of the, let's say, CEO paying for some gamified learning that he has been convinced that this is the new great thing to go to, he'll be asking, okay, so I have 1,000 people in my organizations, so you're telling me that you're engaging those innovators and maybe some of the early adopters, so that's, I'm paying for 25 people, maybe 150 tops out of my 1,000. No, I need you, Arek, and I need you to engage all of the 1,000, or at least we can skip the laggards. They don't engage into anything. But if you are promising me that games engage people, then engage the majority. And that will translate into many of my tips that I will be sharing today. So it's very important why we make some choices that we make when we design. And speaking about choice, first dilemma, first question I wanted to share with you today is the matter of choice. Do we give users, learners, players a lot of choice or just a little bit? Yeah, what would you say? Do you think people love choice, like choice? Is it helpful in learning? What's your opinion? That's the intuition. That's the intuition, and I guess Roman is going in the similar direction that I, based on experience, found out that might be the right one, even if it's not the nice one or the one that we would love to. Because a choice creates a sort of a Netflix effect. You know, when you wanted to sit down with a bunch of your friends or your family, and you have this huge, beautiful screen of choices that you can choose from, and you say, well, what do we want to watch? And 20 minutes later, you are very tired of choosing. You are fighting with people you're sitting with, and the time slot that you had an energy for the video may perhaps passed. And that's what we do these days, still with the learning platforms or the libraries. That, you know, in corporate world, maybe not all of you work in corporations, but that's a typical the choice of L&D officers is to find a nice, great library of courses and, sorry, pardon my language, dump it on people. And you do the work, dear learner, you choose from this library. And they're like, what? I mean, I I allocated 25 minutes for learning because that's as much as I have, and I do not have time for choice. Sorry, I need you to understand my needs and design for it. So I would say choice is creates this overwhelming effect, this Netflix effect. It actually is quite costly because if you want to create choice, you need to create all those different paths that people would be able to walk. And on all those paths, you have to put something. In our case, it's micro-learning material. So it's tasks. And if you give them choice of 3 ways that they can go, it's triple their budget for the tasks. So it's quite costly. And I will refer to my previous speakers and the speakers after me because I'm in a wonderful group of people that are doing wonderful things. And I will be talking actually about gamifying compliance, just as you've heard about 10 minutes ago. And I will be referring to Melinda Jacobs, who will be speaking after me, because she taught me something very useful and insightful. Boy, 5 years ago, Melinda. Thank you. And I still use it every day. So I will refer to the sentence that we've just heard 15 minutes ago. I'm feeling a little bit confused. And that's the word or the sentence that you never ever want to hear when you're designing your gamification. And it's a very, very big risk when you're designing your gamification with a little bit of a passionate or nerdy approach. So it needs to be simple enough. So choice, you can use choice. Choice is good. We want choice. But make choice optional. Sounds like a strange wordplay, but what I mean by choice being optional, if we are aiming for the mandatory elements of the course, they should be put on a learning path that is designed for a person. But they might, to level up, do something extra, something more, and there where you put the choice. Okay, so that's what I mean by optional or additional choice. I might be referring to Duolingo. Do you guys know Duolingo, the app that helps you learn languages? I've been actually learning Spanish for last year, and it actually works. It actually works. I do put it to the test, and it's amazing. So, aprender español poco a poco, solely based on a gamified application called Duolingo, and they limited the choice. They removed the choice after, I believe, 6 years staying on the market. They now provide you with a single learning path. However, you can, for example, upgrade to legendary if you want. So you can do some additional elements. And last but not least, about choice, make it part of learning. So, for example, one of types of our micro-learning tasks is a simulation where you can choose one of 3 different answers, and that's where the choice is right in a correct place, because it's very limited. It's in the spot, and I just click and have a choice, enjoy it, but it doesn't take me from my learning path. I'm not lost. I'm not feeling lost and overwhelmed. Does that make sense? Hopefully, it does. Okay, so the next element of gamification that we get in trouble with might be storyline. Okay. Again, I promise you with you and a little bit controversial. So I do love me some steampunk. Okay, steampunk is the best for the 2% of us in the world. But we, in the corporate world, are not designing for the small group of enthusiasts. So we can go for Star Wars. Amazing. We think that everyone loves Star Wars. That is not the case. It's the wonderful 15% of people that love Star Wars. You need to design for something very universal, or that really speaks to the group that you are dealing with. And then you can be a little bit more nerdy or creative or niche, if you like. So I can give you a storyline. If we were designing for high school students that were to learn, actually it's a vocational school that can afterwards they can choose to go into mining. We can design a storyline that mines on all 9 planets of our solar system, and there could be a little bit of robots and stuff like that, because we know that this will speak to this this group of people. Inside, they will be learning something very down to earth, the mining process of copper, whatever. That's what gamification is amazing. It can bring you with robots and a storyline into learning something that normally you would not open the book. You would not start learning. And then if you have a different target group, you can say, okay, well, what's that? That's some tall buildings. Yeah, but these guys are the service they certify lifts and they certify cranes. So yes, tall buildings speak to them. They will be very fine with that world. It will be close enough to their reality and gamey enough, so it's a distraction. It's a nice break from reality. That was actually the before and after. But if you are addressing, let's say, people from Big Four, Deloitte people, the white collar, top of the class, people that are doing mergers and acquisitions, then you probably are safer sticking to something that resembles their environment, so you can actually get your messages across. You still do them in a micro-learning format. You can have a little bit fun with the formats, but it needs to be something that is close enough to their heart. But just so you regain a little bit of hope, if you can still do something very engaging and very interesting and brave, we had a client that was bold enough to design a gamified learning platform for learning compliance for people who are dealing with money, so extremely serious stuff. And they agreed with us, and we designed together this world. So people were learning compliance in a sort of Middle Earth scenario storyline, and these were the mission screens that they were discovering, and they were learning about law, legal issues, compliance, money handling, risk of corruption or anything like that, in this very rich storyline scenario. So we love when the client is brave enough. But they are sort of like Lotto, when you. So their companies is around games to some extent, and therefore the employees do speak the games language. That's why they were happy to do that. Did it work? It worked amazingly. Actually, we had more than 2,000 people finish the first mission, and then 2,000 people finished the second mission on compliance. Pardon me, but probably the most boring subject on earth. People were engaging. So yeah, storyline. If you make it universal, or if you can make it tailored to the group, then it will work. But if you don't know the group, if you're aiming for a very wide audience, stick it to universal. So for example, for us, universal is always about traveling, and that speaks to everyone. I'm just wondering if I can switch now to a different card, if it will work. And hopefully it does work. Yeah, this is, yep.
Yep, works. Yep.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. So this is Paris, and then this is London, and you're just traveling through the European cities, or you can travel to world cities. And in this storyline, in this graphics, you can actually put a storyline, a text-based storyline that can be very unique to different clients, but still everyone feels safe, and it's not, again, sorry, it's not for the nerds, it's for everyone. Yeah, so that could be a good choice for you to create a universal storyline. And I promised you that I will be referring to wonderful Melinda Jacobs, and the storyline works as an UX, user experience narrator, explainer, user interface tutorial. So once you have a good storyline, people will know what to do because they know the basics of, for example, traveling. So you probably know, okay, I already unlocked those 4 countries, and then I will be unlocking the other countries. And this, what you're looking at, is an interface of an e-learning platform. It could be fully rational. There could be no story, but the story explains what to do. And the story says, okay, explore, see, look around. What can you click on? What works? Oh, it doesn't work. I don't want to go there. The interface is explained by a story. So I would love to elaborate on that, but we have to go on. But that was very helpful, and I got it from Melinda. And the last but not least, people are busy and get bored. And on the other hand, people in corporations sometimes need to learn for a long time. For example, if you're learning about leadership, it's not good to learn about it over a weekend. It's better to spread it over several months, and every week have new learning material that will help you become a better leader. And we can do that for 12 months, for 18 months, for people to log in and out every week over the course of more than a year to learn about, for example, leadership or skills or personal efficiency. And how we get that is with the storyline, because we are all ready to wait for the next part of our favorite TV series, and we are choking, eating those Friends seasons one by one, and we don't complain that they last so long. We will spend hours and hours on storylines, actually, on Netflix and other platforms. So if you have a strong storyline, you can keep people engaged for many weeks and months. Now, the topic that I'm not very strong on, and the reason is that every time I explore it, I see more red flags than green flags to go into VR, AR. I'm not sure what are your thoughts if you ever seen VR in practice, and well, obviously I assume that you have seen it, but have you ever put it in practice? Have it worked for you? I really would love to talk to someone during the break. What were your experience? However, for the rest of us, my experience with VR in a corporate learning, it has these red flags. It's costly and it's high maintenance. Do I love VR? Yes, I do. Just last night, I was on an exhibition of the life story of Frida Kahlo, the Mexican icon. I have chills right now because the VR experience was amazing. But then it was a setup that allowed 10 people at the same time, and they had 3 people helping us out with the goggles and the headphones and all of the stuff. So yeah, it is amazing, but it's costly to produce because the experience was probably 3 minutes, and I can imagine how long it took them to produce it. And then having people actually learn through VR, it's very difficult. And some people will have this higher level of blockade saying it's not for me. And then the other risk is that, well, if you, for example, come up with this clever idea of sending headsets to employees' homes or offices and don't provide the safety officer, they may hurt themselves walking, towards this imaginary element on the screen. So I do believe that there is a room for VR and AR in gamified learning. I'm looking forward to us being able to utilize it more. We are not there yet. It can be an elite experience maybe for a small group. It's great for learning on the spot. So like when you're, I don't know, visiting a factory and you want to show about health and safety risks, by the way, it's much better to train people in VR rather than them watching an accident happen. So yeah, there is room for VR and AR, but not in our practice because of the red flags I mentioned. On a positive note, progress bar. So some of you are hearing bar. It's probably evening somewhere in the world, so you're thinking, okay, now we're heading out. No, wait, because we're talking about progress bars. So that little thing that's on a screen and shows you how much you've already achieved and where are you still, need to go. And this, if I was to point out, based on our experience, the single most important game mechanic that we utilize, and it works with people, with adult people working in jobs, basically being busy, is storyline and progress bars. So progress bars are hugely important. Are there problems? Well, I only counted one problem. Never retract. You cannot design, you shouldn't design, probably exceptions, but you shouldn't design a progress bar that will ever go back. Yeah. So it's not a simple thing, because sometimes the mechanics would like you to go back, and you can have it with board games. One of my favorite games is about turtles. It's designed by Rainer Knizia. He is a German board game designer. Check him out. It's amazing. It's Knizia. I will write it down later. And there's plenty of retraction in the progress of turtles on the board. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice mechanic, but not necessarily in the learning environment in an organization. So we put progress bars everywhere on our platform. You can find them in so many places that you would be surprised if I pointed you to all of them. So it's a progress in the mission, it's a progress in the total game. You are unlocking continents, so you're actually seeing them if you are going through continents. So the progress bar is even within the single micro learning task, you still see how much of that is behind you, how much is in front of you. So they are the most important mechanic. Put them all over. It shows achievement. It shows progress. It is different than leaderboard and ranking, because it's actually becoming better myself. It induces dopamine. Love me some progress bars. Badges, on the other hand, are the part of the infamous PBLs, the point badges leaderboards trifecta that started designing games and gamification. But badges are not ideal, and let me show you why I think that. So first of all, they are a tiny bit patronizing, or they could be. So what I mean by that is, yeah, do as I want and I'll give you this little badge. Yeah, and because I'm talking about adult peoples with an ego, they don't like that a lot. They don't like falling into those predefined, badge pigeonholes that you design for them. So yeah, badges, you need to be careful with them. And also, sometimes we think that if we design badges and then we allow people to showcase them on their profiles, like within the company, for example, even in their Outlook or somewhere, it really sounds like a good idea. And to some extent it is. But I'm here to warn you about that's my promise of the speech today. So it could be, again, a little bit of this nerd alert, or this brown noser. Oh, yeah, he's doing what they're telling him, and he's showcasing this, and he's making us do that. Sorry, I'm just being very honest today. But instead of badges, use achievements. It's a tiny little difference, but again, if you put progress bars and you organize all your like competencies that you are learning or areas of expertise, and basically make the person learning achieve the next level. Like we use, I believe we use entry and guru level, and that makes themselves proud, and it's enough that it works for them rather than for everyone else. That's my experience. And probably if you design a badge very well, you can use it as a status symbol for everyone else. I'm just trying to show you that turning them into achievements might be slightly better and safer option. And as I mentioned, they work as another progress bar, and they actually work as a way to organize material. Because, for example, in our platform, every badge lists things that you've learned, and you can actually always refer to that bit of learning from that achievement, from that competency at any time. So once you unlock this element, you can always go back. A little bit like equipment in role-playing games, like you got that's your equipment side. You've already gained this knowledge, you can always go back to that. So people love this approach. They don't always appreciate the badges. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Right, I'm speaking quite fast. I understand that might be quite energetic talk because I'm passionate and I prepared so much for you, but we are getting there. We are halfway through, and what I've just done, I've done the progress bar for you. I should have actually put it on the screen. People love progress bars during speeches. It helps them focus because they see, okay, he's getting there. He's halfway through. It's not much longer. I will focus, because then there will be a break or another speech. So that's how progress bars work everywhere. Rewards. When I'm talking to my clients, the HR representatives, they think that rewards are very, very important, because they've been struggling with getting engagement from people into e-learning. They prepared so many courses in e-learning. They have those nice libraries of content, and people are not going there, not visiting, not completing their e-learnings. They have to be pushed and almost punished to do that, or warned that if you don't do this e-learning, something bad will happen. So sometimes they jump into the other spectrum and thinking, okay, we can buy the engagement. We can reward people so they will engage. And I hope that we in this group of gamification expert, passionate enthusiasts already know that actually there is plenty of different elements that can engage people, and they are called game mechanics. And rewards are one of those mechanics, but only one of the 50, 55 or something, whichever list you refer to. So the risks of rewards in a gamification for learning in a corporation could be that it could be costly, and also beware of distribution, because if they are physical rewards like a nice little mug or something like that, you will have to distribute them. And one of our implementations were really truly global, and in the leaderboard we've seen names from like every single continent, and then we had quite small rewards, as I advised, but then we didn't think of a distribution well enough, and sending over to people's homes, because it was the lockdown period, those rewards were much more costly than the rewards themselves. So ate a lot of budget. So beware of that. An alternative could be virtual like QR codes for again, subscription service that an employee can enter. But I will show you a number of rewards that we are using. There's plenty of good ideas for rewards. Another risk that comes with rewards is if you put them high, like you, for example, one of our clients, against our recommendation, decided to have this trip to, I believe, Zanzibar, or it could be Hawaii, or wherever you are. There is equivalent of this wonderful trip, and there is like 12 spots, and if you are the best in the gamification, you get there. And that was a wrong choice, and please don't do that, because first of all, it works only for the top 12 people and maybe next 20. Okay, and remember, we are to engage all the 1,000 people, not the top 30. They are engaged anyways. And the second thing is the hacker alert. As long as the rewards are small and the gamification is for learning, so you want to basically compete with yourself and complete the storyline, and that's why you are learning, then everything is okay. But if you put high value rewards, people start, thinking of ways of getting them. And we have had this experience. I mean, we caught them very early. We always catch them very early. Just last week, we had this guy who wanted to sort of soft hack, basically try to overuse one of the features that's called Pro Tip of the Day. You can, at the beginning of the day, you can choose one person that's the earliest to go onto the platform can choose the Pro Tip of the Day. They were designing software to log them in a second after midnight, so they are first. It's amazing what people will do if there is a reward large enough for them to go into the hacker mode. And as I mentioned, it engages the top, but it can disengage the rest. So we don't want that. So this is a good example of rewards that we actually think, yeah, if you're thinking physical rewards, I mean, this is one of the richest company in the world, and they chose for their gamification just a little nice mug or the sport bottle or a bag, and these are nice rewards to use in gamification. But one more important thing is that they are not rewards for the top best 20 people or 30 people. Actually, it works this way, and it is really smart, if you don't mind me saying, because it's one of our solutions. But we learned about that the hard way. Everyone who completes the tasks that are provided can spend their tokens on exchanging them for the rewards, and they are designed in a way that if you participated and done something, then you can have the bug. It's 350 tokens. If you completed at least 90% of all the tasks, and you completed them with at least 80% of quality or 70% quality, you can have the mug for 2,200 tokens. But if you want to really get the best rewards, they are slightly more expensive, just slightly, but still they are more interesting ones. Then try hard to complete 100% and be in the 90% of right answers. And this design for rewards works. People actually are competing fairly. They're engaged because they can then, for their work, be rewarded exchanging their tokens for the rewards. So keep them small, keep them meaningful. A great reward, for example, if you're learning for leadership skills, it would be additional coaching session or a ticket to a conference that is not a ticket to Zanzibar trip, but it's something meaningful that they would like to go to. So it could be a status symbol. I mean, a reserved parking spot. It's always amazing. Amazing reward. So you can have your own parking spot for a week that is next to the CEO, let's say, or wherever it makes sense. Actually, a lunch with a board member or someone really respected in the company is another great reward. So yeah, there's plenty. You can also partner up with a non-profit organization and plant a tree. So a player, a learner from the organization can exchange their tokens for planting a tree. And then they will have a video from planting those 200 trees that our tokens in this game paid for. Or you can help people, disadvantaged people from disadvantaged communities with those tokens and have a video of them thanking you. I mean, we've done all that, what I'm talking about, and it's amazing. So rewards, when they are earned, they taste much better. For example, we do a lot of onboarding gamification. So when you're introducing people to the company, it's a wonderful idea to gamify this 3 months or 5 months or whatever is your onboarding taking place, or even a month, because it's naturally gamified. And typically people would give a welcome pack, a set of gadgets that are nice for you, welcome to the company. But it's probably even better to have them work for it, as in progress in a gamified onboarding learning path. And once you earn those points, you can exchange them for those rewards, and they taste better. They feel like earned. And here's another place where you can actually utilize choice. I warned you about choice. Choice needs to be in a very specific places, and rewards is a very good place for choice. Leaderboards and rankings. Don't punish by showing people that they are low on the leaderboard. They shouldn't be only for the top. It's similar like with the rewards. They can actually create disengagement. So the pro tip for you to achieve high engagement, engagement through leaderboards, show the top 30. So you reward people and then show them their own place. So they can see how much they need to improve to get to the top, but do not show and present to others that they are failing. Make them meaningful, because you can create leaderboards for regions and groups so they can compete with people they know. And it's a smart idea to reset them monthly or weekly. So even if I was late to the gamification, I engage later, I can actually move up. The last part, because I'm running out of time, is security and corporate expectations. And this is a tough one. So probably one of the main obstacles why gamification in a form of a platforms don't enter corporate that much, because integration is a very difficult, long process. So for us, the choice is specialized or local, so targeted like compliance, like onboarding, not integrating with the whole system of the company. And it must work 24/7. If it doesn't work, the big companies won't enjoy it. But we are talking about people working in those companies. So we are not talking about large corporations utilizing gamification. We are talking about making people's lives better, those who are being killed by traditional old school e-learning, providing them with the engaging mechanics and helping them learn what they need to learn. I'm short on time probably, but I'm still happy to answer your questions now and later at the tables. And I have a freebie for you as well. If you wanted to sort of engage with the platform yourself, this is completely free. It's not something that we will charge. You can actually participate in a sort of trial version of our new approach. We want to get feedback actually from professionals like yourself and enthusiasm. So the hard feedback maybe. And after that, we can actually issue you with some tokens for distributing this to the real learners. So if you will have a group of people that would like to learn about that, we will issue with some free tokens after you provide us with the feedback. So it's a new launch. We want your feedback. So if you scan this QR code, you can actually enter the sort of subscribe for the early access. So thank you so much, and happy to answer questions if Jonathan will allow me, and Melinda will wait. If not, you can always write down my credentials or my contact numbers and just call me or write me on LinkedIn. I have a long name, but it's in an agenda, so you'll be able to find it. My friend has 6 letters in his first and last name. I have 30, so it's not an easy task. Wow, I feel like I've either overwhelmed you with so much information, or maybe maybe it's late somewhere. What is Lead Ventures? So Lead Ventures is this new element that we are actually trying to allow people from the organizations that are not big corporations, that are smaller organizations, that can actually learn about leadership in a gamified way, but much less expensive, much more accessible. And I have a question about badges. Why do I think badges don't work anymore? So it's a warning rather than a definitive statement. Yeah, sometimes badges do work, but sometimes people feel like they are having to do exactly what you tell them in order to get them. And some people are like that. They like complying, but some other are more rebellion and they don't like that. And badges are also dangerous because sometimes we go too simplistic towards gamification. So sometimes we only rely on badges and leaderboards, and we don't want that. You need to go for so many mechanics, and please remember progress bars and storylines. These will help you a lot.